Hi there, my name is Will with Boomi Support, and I'm here to show you how to make a simple listener heartbeat process using the Boomi Atomsphere API. Here's our process. We start with a no data shape, and then we will go into our connector here, so I will open that up. We have the Atomsphere API connector, and we're using a query action. We can take a look at the connection that I created for this. The WSDL URL will depend on your account ID. It will pretty much always look the same with HTTPS api.boomi.com/API/SOAP/v1 and then your account ID $WSDL. That is in our documentation if you need to reference it. I'm using an API token as my authentication, and I have that set down here. The API token you will need to get from your user settings. Now we can take a look at the operation that I've created for this. You can see that we have the query action, and we have imported a profile for the listener status API object. Let's take a look at that. So we have our listener status object here. We have a listener ID. That's going to tell you which listener it is pointing to. The status is going to give you the listener status, which should be error, listening, or paused. And then we have the connector type. For the purpose of this process, we're going to focus on the listener ID and the status. For the listener status, we're going to use the container ID in order to point to the specific runtime that we would like to check our listener status for. In the parameters of our connector here, I have added a parameter for the container ID, having that equal the static value of the container ID, which is the same thing as the runtime ID. For the purpose of my process here, I have a decision shape. In that decision shape, I take the listener status value from the response, and if it equals listening, that means the listener is working as expected, so I just send that to the stop shape. Anything else, if it's in an error state or paused, it will go to a message, and here it will give me an alert, listener ID, and then we'll insert the ID is in whatever state that it's in. After that, I have a mail connector here so that it will send me an email with that alert and the status. We have another video on how to set up the mail connector, so I recommend watching that if you have not already. Our next step will be to create a package component and to deploy the process, and then create a schedule for the heartbeat so that the process is running every so often to check on your listener status. We have other videos on how to create those scheduled processes. Now, I will test the process here to show you how it works. While this process is running, I will also recommend our Boomi developer docs, where you can find some of our Atomsphere API objects like the listener status. Okay, so we can see it's going down the false path, which means there's something wrong with my connector, or sorry, with my listener. Take a look here in the mail connector. Alert listener ID is in paused state. So now I have also received an email regarding this, and you can too if you set up this listener heartbeat process. So thank you so much for watching this video, and we'll see you in the next one.